Sadly, 7.6 is the last video of Chapter 7. And there are 5 examples. This is going to be a quick video. And then we're going to review our little butts off until the test for Chapter 7. Hopefully we rock the chapter. All right, so first example here. 5 minus the 4th root of x equals 0. This is a radical equation because it has a radical, and we're going to solve this bad boy. So remember, when we're solving, it's PEMDAS backwards, right? So when we're solving, we're going backwards. So the first thing that's got to go away is addition and subtraction. We're going to move this 5 by subtracting it. So we're left with the opposite of the 4th root of x equals negative 5. But I want to get rid of that negative as well. So get rid of that negative. You got the 4th root of x equals positive 5. Then, how do you un-4th root something? What is the enemy of the 4th root? Well, the enemy of 4th root is the 4th power. So you're going to raise both sides to the 4th power. And what we got here is x equals 625. That's our final answer. Our final answer is x is 625. Do a real quick check. The 4th root of 625 is 5. Now, because we're not solving, we don't do plus or minus 5. It's just straight up 5. 5 minus 5 is indeed 0. Right, another way that we could have solved this is just added this to this side, and then we just have 5 equals the 4th root of x. Same thing. Just wanted to show you this in case you have a negative. Don't forget to make sure you get rid of it. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, 3x, this is weird, to the 4/3 power equals 243. Now, even though it's not a radical, we could rewrite this in radical form, and it would be a radical equation. But we're going to solve this as is. We're going to divide by 3 first, of course. We get x to the 4/3 power equals 243 divided by 3 is 81. Now again, we could write this in radical form, but that's just a headache. I don't want to deal with it. Let's go back here. What if we had this number 1 in exponent form? Well, this would be x to the 1/4 power. Oops, sorry, it's all bleedy. You know, my screen on my computer. X to the 1/4 power equals 5. And at the end, we had x. What is the exponent on this x? It's 1. So we want to get, somehow, we took x to the 1/4 and we made it x to the 1st power, because we know and understand the 1st power. So what we did was we raised it to the 4th power, which incidentally is the reciprocal of 1/4, right? So we're going to apply that same concept here. We're going to raise both sides to the 3/4 power, to the 3/4 power. And we're going to get x equals, now use your calculator and raise x 81 to the 3/4 power, and you should get 27. Now, while we didn't put it in radical form, here's what we did do. This was 81. We raised it to the 3/4 power, which means it was 81 cubed, and we used an even index to solve. So if we use an even index to solve, what do we got to remember to do? We have to put a plus or minus on it. All right. So here, even though we didn't put it in radical form just because I thought it was more headache than what it was worth, what we do got to remember is that if the denominator is even, that is still an even index. And our final answer, we have to put a plus or minus on it. All right. If you're not sure, put a plus or minus on it and then check it. Use your calculator and put in 3 times 27 to the 4/3 power. See if it comes out as 243. Then do 3 times, put parentheses around negative 27 to the 4/3 power. Should come out the same way. When in doubt, throw it on, and then check your answer. If it doesn't work, then cross it out. All right, let's do a couple more. Number 3 is the square root of 2x plus 8 minus 4 on the outside equals 6. All right, so get rid of addition and subtraction first. So we're left here with the square root of 2x plus 8 equals 10. Square both sides. So we're going to square both sides. That's the enemy of square root. So I got 2x plus 8 equals 10 squared is 100. All right, then it's just straight up linear. 2x equals 92. X is 46. All right, check your answer. 2 times 46 is 92 plus 8 is 100. The square root of 100 is 10. 10 minus 4 is indeed 6, so we know that we're right. Number 4. The square root of 4x plus 28 minus 3 root 2x equals 0. Square root of 4x plus 28 minus 3 root 2x is equal to 0. Hey, if you want to give this one a shot, you probably could. So go ahead and pause it and give it a shot. So what we could do here is just like in number 1, the alternative way that we could have solved the first one. Just move this to this side. We can move the second term to this side. So what I got here now is, I'm going to go with this one. The square root of 4x plus 28 equals 3 root 2x. All right, now, this 3, we'd like to get rid of it. However, the only way we could is if we divided by 3. But if I did that, I'd just be left with this mess divided by 3, and nothing really goes away. So in this case, we're kind of stuck with this 3. But there's no addition or subtraction, so that makes raising to exponents a little bit easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise both sides to the second power to get rid of this radical. But here's the thing. We have to raise this entire side to the second power. So this squared undoes this radical. We're left with 4x plus 28 equals, now here's the tricky part here. This whole thing is raised to the squared power. This is 9 times 2x. Right? The 3 squared is the 9, and then the squared undoes the radical, and we're left with 9 times 2x. So 4x plus 28 is 18x. You got 14x equals 28. X is 2. Oops, that should be an x, shouldn't it? X is 2. X is 2. Quick check. 8 plus 28 is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. Minus 2 times 2 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2 times 6. 6 minus 6 is indeed 0. So we're right. All right, example 5. Example 5 is called watch out there now. Example 5 is this. Example 5 says x plus 2 equals the square root of 2x plus 28. All right, this is another one. If you wanted to move this 2, you'd just be left with x equals square root of blah minus 2. So again, it doesn't really take care of anything. We still got to find out what x is by itself. We only want 1x on one side. So moving that 2 doesn't help. We got the radical by itself. That's good, so we can square both sides. But remember, if you square, you have to square the entire side. Now, please don't make this x squared plus 4. You know you'll make me cry. So make sure you FOIL this out. You would get x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 2x plus 28. All right. So x squared and x. I think we're stuck to factor. So we got to subtract the 2x. X squared plus 2x, move this 28 as well, minus 24 equals 0. So what multiplies the negative 24 adds up to 2? We got x plus 6 and x minus 4 equals 0. Do some ZPP action. We get x plus 6 equals 0. X minus 4 equals 0. So we would get x is negative 6. X is 4. Those are our two solutions. All done. Oh, snap. I didn't check my answers. We should check our answers. Let's start off with negative 6. When we plug it in inside here, negative 6 plus 2 is, well, that would be negative 4. All right, I'll put that in blue. Negative blue. Negative 4. Oh, there goes my email again. Negative 4. So, 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Negative 12 plus 18 is 16. The square root of 16 is, oh snap, 4. Not negative 4. All right. Negative 6 does not work. That is an extraneous solution. Negative 6 is extraneous. Well, shoot, if negative 6 didn't work, we better try 4. Let's plug in the 4 here. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 28 is 36. The square root of 36 is 6. All right, so 4 does work, but negative 6 does not. That is an extraneous solution. All right, so like I said, this was the last video of Chapter 7. What do y'all think of this flip model? On Edmodo, I'm going to put a quiz. Tell me if we should try another chapter, if we should finish the year, or if you're done with this flip thing. Flip was enough. I'm doing this one chapter. Remember, Chapter 7 is Chapter 7. It was hard. Flip might be a different way to do the rest of the year. Tell me what you think. All right. Chapter 7. Out!